So, what do I mean by author risks? The good, the bad, and the just don'ts. Well, we'll start with the good risks. Of course, every author takes a risk just writing something. That just comes with the territory. Personally, what I look at as a good risk, something that I would advise you to do, is to be yourself. Now, that sounds simple enough, but I mean, there's a lot of pressure out there to be this way or be that way. You may even find some experts that tell you need to write more like such and such because you've got this kind of style and this is the thing to do right now. Honestly, I would say every time you get that kind of advice, ignore it, run away from it as fast as you can, because to me, the writing experience is about expressing who you are. In effect, being yourself. I mean, that's the whole reason that we write, is to express from our inner being whatever it is that we feel like getting across. It does no good to conform yourself to another person's style or anything besides who you are. So we're going to start off with that. So good risk, be yourself. Second, try something new. I mean, that's always a good risk. Try something. I mean, there is a saying, there's nothing new under the sun. That is technically true, but that doesn't mean that you can't put your own spin on things. You can for example, you can try a genre that you've never tried before. If you normally write romance, you could try writing a drama or science fiction or anything. There's so much to choose from. That's one of the things that I challenged myself with after the Jordan series. Was I said, steampunk, yeah, I want to try it. I got excited by that opportunity, and I'm going for it. And it gives you a chance to take whatever that genre is and make that story your own. Whether it's a short story, a novella, a full-length novel. The point that I'm making is that you challenge yourself, and there's a risk that comes with that. There's always the chance that somebody might not like it or that you might not like it, but if you try, you will get something out of the experience. You'll grow. You may find that you really like that genre and do a lot more in it, or you may find that it isn't for you, but you gave it a shot, and that's pushing yourself as a writer, and I think that's a good risk. And the third thing is, remember, no matter what you do, you can always start fresh. As a writer, yeah, you can always start fresh. Say things weren't going well down the particular path that you were following up to this point. There's nothing that says you can't just, do a 180 and go in a different direction, somewhere that works for you. So, always try and always push yourself, always stretch yourself as a writer. Don't get comfortable, because when you get comfortable, then there is a real risk of becoming lazy as a writer, and we all face it. And the only way to overcome that is to keep challenging yourself. Okay, so bad risks. Following trends is bad risk. I think it's a mistake to try and write a story based on a trend, because trends are notoriously short-lived. And given how long it can take to produce, a novel or a short story or a novella, even if you self-publish, by the time you get it out there in a way that you're satisfied with, that trend is probably already going to be over with, or it'll have changed, or, point being, trends pass, and, you could find yourself, not looking the way that you want to because you put something out there and now this trend is over, and okay, now what? Next bad risk, fan pleasing, and that's in terms of giving your fans too much creative control over the direction of your stories. This is different from receiving constructive criticism from your fans. That's a very good, element to learn from. But, if you wrote, a book, for example, and you get a lot of fan feedback, they love it, great, okay, you take it to your heart, you feel great, okay, and then you get a bunch of people saying, okay, now take character X and ship them with character Y. Well, they can say that, they absolutely can tell you that, but as a creator, as a writer, there is a danger in taking fan input and letting it control your story instead of you. That's a bad risk because it's a slippery slope. Okay, so you agree with the shipping of character X with character Y, but you didn't write them that way originally. So what ends up happening? You end up writing a story you didn't intend to write. And so then fans see, oh, they took our input. The writer took our input, so we're going to make more input. We're going to tell them we want this to happen and that to happen. And before you know it, you've lost control of your characters. You've lost control of your story. Now, that might temporarily lead to some increased sales, but as a writer, you're not going to feel satisfied in the long run, because then you're just writing to please your fans, and that just has some inherent problems, and it's not satisfying, because what if you want to go a particular direction with a story, but your fans don't? So therefore, you're not going to write your story because you're worried about what other people are going to do. And in the meantime, you've got another portion of readers who are potential fans or fans, and they're going to be dissatisfied because they were following the original story that you were writing, and now you're going down this other path. And so that's going to be dissatisfying to them. It just kind of spins out of control. So that's a bad risk. Yes, you want to write stuff that, when you put it out there, pleases the fans, but don't let anyone else dictate your story for you. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and the third bad risk, trying to write like insert author's name here. That's a bad risk, because it's sort of the same as the last one. You're ceding your creative control because you think, for whatever reason, that writing like so-and-so is going to make you more popular with your readers, or is going to get you more sales, whatever the reason. That's a bad risk, because where's your voice in that? Where is your style? What happens when you get those sales, or you become popular like that, and you want to write something you want to write, but you're not writing like insert author name here anymore? You're writing like yourself, and people have gotten used to you writing like so-and-so. So again, you've ceded your creative control, trying to follow whatever you thought was the reason for writing like so-and-so. That's a bad risk, because it's ultimately self-defeating. All right, and then there's the just don'ts. To me, these are both obvious, but I'm going to say them anyway. Just don't plagiarize. Don't lift your ideas from this famous work or that famous work or this author that you like so much that you're a super fan of. You're going to do exactly what they did, or you're going to pick up whole passages, or, plagiarizing in any form is bad, and it's not intellectually honest. It is ethically unsound, and it will get you in a lot of trouble. So just don't. And then the last thing, and I want to end this on a positive note, just don't give up. No matter what you're facing, no matter where you are in your writing, no matter how frustrating it is, you can always step back from it. You can always take a breather. You can deal with whatever personal things are going on in your life. And you can always come back. That's the beauty of writing. You can always come back. And if you give it a little space and maybe work on something else for a little bit and come back to it, you can move past whatever it is that's making you want to give up on writing or give up on that particular work. But whatever you do, don't give up, because that will haunt you. First of all, if you give up writing, and writing is your passion, that will haunt you. And nobody deserves to feel that. It's a sense of a failure, or at least a sense of loss. And yeah, you could come back later, but it's a struggle you don't need to give yourself, in my opinion. So don't give up. Stick with it. Carry it on through to the end. You'll be surprised, that by sticking with it and doing it, you can turn a negative into a positive in the situation. It may take some time. It'll probably take a lot of patience. And it may take just, like I said, removing yourself from the situation for a little while and coming back to it. But don't give up. You're a writer, whether you're getting paid for it or not, whether you are published or not, whether you're considering self-publishing or trying to go traditionally published, whether you're looking for an agent, wherever you're at in the writing journey, don't give up. You can make it. Believe me, I know. I've gone down the route. I've done self-publishing. I have done searching and querying for agents. And, I'm where I'm at now. Am I rich? No. I'm not trying to be rich. I'm just trying to be, in my case, I'm a Christian author. I'm trying to be what the Lord wants me to be. I'm trying to fulfill that purpose. You may have a different purpose, and that's fine. Just follow your dream and continue on. Don't give up. So, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and feel free to like, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, and share the videos. And we'll see you next time.